Welcome to Story Pie. Let me tell you a wonderful story called The Sparkling Sphinx's Secret. Once upon a time, nestled in the heart of a desert, stood the Great Sphinx, a magnificent statue guarding secrets older than stardust. Every night, the Sphinx came alive with a dazzling light show, powered by shimmering moonstones. The ruler of this magical land was Bearon the Royal Fluff, a fluffy sky blue bear with a crown and a heart full of kindness. Bearon loved tea parties, especially when they were held at the Sphinx, watching the lights dance across the sand. One evening, as Bearon was preparing for his favorite tea party, a dreadful silence fell. The lights of the Sphinx did not sparkle. Panic fluttered through the desert winds. "Oh dear," boomed Bearon, his fur puffing up with worry. "Where are the moonstones?" He turned to Mimi the Marshmallow Fairy, who smelled of sweet vanilla, and Rollo the Rolling Hedgehog, a blur of orange. "We must find them!" Kiana, a young princess with a love for drawing, animals, music, and the stars, had arrived with her sketchbook, excited to watch the nightly spectacle. She watched with wide eyes as Bearon, Mimi, and Rollo began their investigation. The Sphinx was eerily quiet. The usual bustling crowd of curious creatures was missing, and the air felt heavy with mystery. "It's as if someone stole them," whispered Mimi, her tiny wings trembling. Rollo, ever the pragmatist, began sniffing the ground, his nose twitching. Suddenly he stopped. "I smell a feather." He pointed with a tiny paw to a single shimmering feather that glittered like a fallen star. "A clue!" cried Bearon, his eyes lighting up. "Follow the feather!" The feather led them on an extraordinary journey. Rollo, with his incredible speed, zipped across the desert sands, the wind whistling past his quills. Mimi, using her marshmallow magic, conjured a map made of marshmallow clouds, showing their path. Bearon, wise and steady, ensured they didn't lose their way. They passed by shimmering mirages and singing sand dunes. The feather led them through winding canyons, their echoes bouncing off the ancient stone walls. As the sun set, casting long shadows, they reached a hidden cave, barely visible among the towering dunes. Inside the cave, they found more clues. There were tiny footprints, and the air hummed with a faint melody. "It seems someone was dancing," observed Mimi. They followed the echoing music, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The tunnels twisted and turned, and the air grew warmer. Finally, they reached a large cavern, illuminated by a soft, ethereal glow. The sounds of music grew louder. They discovered a hidden room where playful desert creatures, the sand sprites, were gathered. And in the middle of the room, sparkling with moonlight, were the moonstones. The sand sprites were happily playing with them, tossing them in the air like glowing toys. The sand sprites, with their mischievous grins, admitted they'd taken the moonstones. They'd been curious about how they sparkled and had taken them during a game of hide and seek. They hadn't meant any harm. Bearon, with a gentle smile, explained the importance of the moonstones to the Sphinx's light show. Mimi, with her magical touch, explained how the Sphinx lights brought so much joy to everyone who watched. Rollo, who had been secretly snacking on mini carrots, offered some to the sand sprites as a peace offering, offering a distraction while they planned the next step. The sand sprites, understanding and contrite, were eager to make amends. With everyone's help, the moonstones were carefully returned to their rightful place. Mimi used her magic to ensure they were securely fitted. The Sphinx, in response, erupted in a brilliant display of light and color, the most spectacular show anyone had ever seen. Kiana clapped her hands with glee, sketching the beautiful scene in her notebook. That evening, the tea party was held at the Sphinx. The air was filled with music and dancing. Bearon, Mimi, and Rollo shared a special marshmallow tea party, the sweetness of the treats mirroring the sweetness of their friendship. The sand sprites joined in, sharing stories of their antics. And as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Kiana looked up, smiled, and knew that even the greatest mysteries could be solved with kindness, teamwork, and a little bit of magic. Let's see what a great listener you are. Can you answer the following question? What did the sand sprites do with the moonstones, and why? Let's see how you did. The answer is the sand sprites hid the moonstones because they wanted to play with them, as they liked how they sparkled. You did a great job. That's all for now. I can't wait until our next Story Pie adventure together.